What is going on, my dummies, and welcome to another Digimon Deck Tech. And in today's episode, we're reviewing an older deck, which is Omnimon Red from point 1.0. We're actually going over it in 1.5 standard metagame. What I'm trying to do is show you guys like what it evolves into whenever set 1.5 comes around, so people that have the Omnimons, people that want to play the deck, they're more aware of what's going on. And I'm going to do this with all the other decks that seem like they're going to have a big impact in 1.5, or they're going to be changing tremendously. So for example, DarkTyrannomon more than likely will not get one. Lilithmon can. Just different types of decks that look like they're going to be impactful. I'm going to make sure I give like updates for those. But without further ado, let's get started. So the first Digitama that we have is Babydmon. During our turn, if our Digimon has Piercing plus 2,000, this isn't going to come up a lot. Now, one of the level 6s that comes out in set 1.5 does have Pierce. So like giving that plus 2k is really, really important. But overall, we don't really need this ability. That's why we play a 4 of Gigimon instead of playing a 4 of Babydmon. But Gigimon, his inheritable skill is during our turn, if our opponent has 5 or more in trash, we get plus 1,000 DP, which is pretty good. Next up, we have Monodramon. Monodramon is our vanilla. 2 to play normally, 0 to evolve, 3,000 DP. Just generic vanilla, really good at starving, and that's what this deck really wants to do, is it wants to make sure that we're starving our opponent as much as possible. And then next up we have Guilmon. Guilmon is normally what we want up under our level 6 or our Omnimon. We want to get a little bit of power off of it. He's 3 to play normally, 0 cost to evolve, 3,000 DP. Now, normally I would play Agumon in this situation. However, I'm putting Guilmon here for a reason, because I already have the Gigimon and I might as well play the Guilmon, you know. However, if you don't want to play the Guilmon, you can play the Agumon. There's a bunch of different scenarios and changes that could be made for the level 3s, and I'm going to go over those as I get to them. So next up we have something weird here. We have a 4 of Agumon Black from set 3, and then we have a 1 of Biyomon from the starter deck. Now, you can do this however you want to. If you want 1 of the Agumons and 4 Biyomons, if you want 1 of Agumon and 3 of the starter deck, or 4 of the starter deck Agumon. Like, in this position, you can do whatever you want to, right? Let me explain to you why I'm playing this Agumon in particularly before you start clicking out of the video. So this Agumon in particular is 4,000 DP, 2 to play normally, 1 to evolve. The 1 to evolve will probably throw a lot of people off. The 1 to evolve is more important than most people realize. And in this deck, you want to starve your opponent as much as possible. And sometimes evolving into the Agumon or playing the Agumon gets you what you need. So being able to evolve for 1 when you're at 0 puts your opponent to where they only have 1 memory. And if we're at a position where we can go into Omnimon, they have to spend more mana to get there, or either they have to play something that starves us back. And it puts them in a very awkward situation because they don't want to give us more memory than we need because we play Omnimon. But they also need to be able to play their stuff, because if they can't play their stuff, then Omnimon comes down and slows them. So that's why I like this Agumon a lot. If you don't want to play it, like I said, you have starter deck Agumon. You can put in a spot. You can play 4 of the Biyomon and then just ignore it and play something that you just really, really want. It's all up to you. But this 1 of Biyomon is actually one of my 10 optional cards in the deck. And how I build my decks, I try to say this in every video. It is a 12 rookie or 12 level 3, 12 level 4, 8 level 5, 8 level 6 deck, and then 10 optional cards. Optional cards can be anything from options to tamers to extra rookies or champions to level 7s, whatever you need for your deck to function correctly. But I keep the 12-12-8-8 split because I feel like it's very consistent, and whatever you add on to that isn't overpowering and you're not drawing it as much, but it is your tech choices more or less. So next up, we have our DarkTyrannomon. He is 6 to play normally, 1 to evolve, 6,000 DP. He is our vanilla, level 4. Here to starve our opponent as much as possible. Yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about him. Sometimes it does feel good to keep your opponent at 1 by going into a level 4 on turn 0, and then your opponent's forced to give you a lot of memory back. It always feels real good. Next up, we have Cordramon. He is 5 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 6,000 DP. He is our blocker. When he attacks, -2 memory. Now, when the next set comes out in, I think, May, we get more blockers, and I'm pretty sure red gets 1. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure red gets 1. At that point, I think this deck changes again to play more blockers to slow down our opponent from what they're attempting to do. But until then, this is the only blocker that we have. So keep that in mind. Keep on moving. We have Greymon from the starter deck. Sorry about that. He's 5 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 4,000 DP. And his inheritable skill is security attack +1. So this is really good. Like I said, we have a level 6 that has Pierce. So we have the Babydmon, we have the Greymon, we have the Guilmon. So we're getting +1,000 DP. We're getting +2,000 DP. So we're looking at a 16,000 body with security attack +1. So we're not hitting an Omnimon and dying to it. So like that's one of the reasons. And we're able to turn 2 cards over, which makes it extremely aggressive. With this deck, you should be able to get to the Omnimon relatively quickly because, like I said, we're trying to starve our opponent here. We're not trying to give them too much. But between the level 6 and the Omnimon turn, we should be putting our opponent in a disadvantage in security alone because of this Greymon. And that's one of the reasons why this deck is so good. It has nothing to do with the Omnimon itself. I believe this Greymon has something to do with it because through testing, I've noticed that the security attack means big, and I mean big changes. Like we're talking like turns worth of trying to grind is gone in an instant. So yeah, that's why I play the Greymon. More decks don't play the Greymon. I've seen the security Greymon played from set 3. I've seen other vanillas played, so this is just what I like to do, so this is what I'm doing. Next up, we have Groundramon. He's our level 5 vanilla, or actually we have 2 level 5 vanillas. It's 5 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 6,000 DP. The 5 to play normally is important. The 2 to evolve, not so much, but the 5 to play normally because we can go level 5 and our opponent has to do something within the next few turns. Otherwise, we have a really good. And I'll tell you a combo with this that I've done a few times that's pretty fun. Next up, we have Lavogaritamon. Excuse me for slaughtering that name. That is a really crazy name. He is 7 to play normally, 2,002 to evolve on top of a level 4, not 2,000. 8,000 DP. Another vanilla. Just like I said, we want to get to Omnimon as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. Next up, we have another one of my optional cards. This is a one of. It's Volcanic Dramond. He's 11 to play normally, which is normally what we're doing with him. 3 to evolve, 10,000 DP. He says security attack +1. And when played, we destroy all of our opponent's Digimon with 4,000 or less DP. Now, this sometimes does get important, especially against like rookie rush and stuff. If we can reset them, then that means we can come back and win the game. So I really do like the Volcanic Dramond in this deck as an optional. But yeah. And on we go to the big dudes of this deck. So the first card is Blitz Greymon. He is 12 to play normally, which we're never going to do. 4 to evolve on a red or black Digimon, 12,000 DP. Now, here's where it gets important. This is the card with piercing. So Babydmon enjoys being under this dude because that's 1,400 power. Also, when we Digivolve on him, one of our opponent's Digimon de-Digivolve by 2. So what that means is we take the top 2 cards off of an opponent's Digimon. So if they're at a level 5, we take the level 5. We take the level 4, they're stuck at level 3. Or if they're at level 6, they go down to level 4. So this allows us to essentially get rid of threats without Omnimon. So like, of course, we play this, we de-Digivolve something. Now they're stuck at, let's say they got it up to a level 6, they're back to a level 4, and they have to get back to that level 6 again. If they're not able to, then we have the option of going into Ultra S. If they are able to, then we have the option of going into Omnimon. So, like, that in its own right helps you fix the situation toward whichever Omnimon you want to play at that given time. So, like, don't sleep on Blitz Greymon. He's arguably the best red card for Omnimon. And, like, just having the Pierce, having security attack because of the Greymon, like, you're looking at so much card, like, not card advantage, but so much tempo advantage in just one card. It's insane. But, yeah, moving forward, we have Phoenixmon, 10 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 12,000 DP, just our vanilla. So, yeah, we kind of have to play it. Now, what I wanted to say earlier about Groundramon. So, oh, my God. Oh, God, I'm messing it up, dummy. So, Groundramon. I've had times where I've wanted to play Groundramon outright and see what my opponent does. And, like, I've noticed time and time again, playing the Groundramon straight out gives my opponent enough memory to where they're like, Digivolve, Digivolve, Digivolve. And they're normally at level 5. Sometimes they even hit level 6. And, like, they're extending to that point. The funniest part is Blitz Greymon turns that back against them. So if they are going wide, like really, really big, and they're not going wide with it, when you play the Blitz Greymon, they lose all those cards they just put on top of it. And if they don't have the cards to replace it, they're in a very tight situation to where, like I said, you have tempo at that point. Your opponent's not gaining it back. But I did want to say that, like, that's why the Groundramon, in my opinion, is in this deck. Like, there's other cards you could play over. You could play Garitamon if you wanted to, because Garitamon, whenever it gets blocked, you get to draw a card. There's also the Metal Greymon from the starter. Whenever it gets blocked, you get memory. I don't recommend the +3 memory and then give your opponent 3 memory Metal Greymon. I don't recommend that one. I don't like that one very much, because you're giving your opponent a crazy amount of memory for no reason. Like, it's stupid. But moving forward, level 7s, we have Omnimon and Omnimon Ultra S, and this is the main versions of the deck. Both of them are pretty much the same. 15 to evolve, 15 to play normally. We're never going to do that. 6 to evolve. For Omnimon, it's on a red or a blue. For Ultra S, it's for a black or a red Digimon. Both have 15,000 power. Now, the first one, Omnimon, is when we Digivolve, we choose a Digimon on our opponent's side and delete it and all Digimon that share a name with it. So it's pretty good. Now remember, this doesn't have, like, if your opponent's playing a Tyrannomon deck, if they have a Rust Tyrannomon, a Metal Tyrannomon, a regular Tyrannomon, a Dark Tyrannomon, you can't just say Tyrannomon and it blows them all up. You have to call the specific name. So keep that in mind when playing this deck. You have to be very specific on which one you want to destroy. Next up, the attacking skill. When he attacks, you can unsuspend him by returning one of your level 6s from under him into your hand. So that's important to have, like, a Blitz Greymon to where you can use his ability again, or Volcanicdramon to where you can play him again to blow stuff up. Pretty good synergy with being able to keep using on placed or on Digivolve skills, so that's pretty good. And then for Ultra S, we have when he Digivolves, we Digivolve 1 on all of our opponent's Digimon, and then we destroy all Digimon that have 5,000 or less DP at that point. Now, I'm going to scroll up a little bit. So we're looking at almost anything, like these two here are 6,000 DP, so he's not getting blockers. However, if these two are on the battlefield and they have something under them, Digivolve them, blow them up. Like, that's the important part about it. Like, we're looking at permanently getting rid of the Digimon and blow, or at least the top card, and then sometimes blowing it up. So that's always good. And then when we attack, just like the other Omnimon, when we attack with it, it cannot be blocked this turn by returning a level 6 Digimon from his Digivolution sources to his hand. That effect has come in and saved me in numerous occasions. Now, I want to point out that you can play multiples of cards. Like, remember the Biyomon from earlier? You can actually replace that with an Alter S if you wanted to, if you found that you're not seeing your Omnimons enough. If you like the Omnimon more, you can switch these numbers around. You can play a 2-2 split if you want to. This is just personal preferences of how I would play it, because Alter S is basically between it and Volcanicdramon as your outs to Rookie Rush. Now, if you find yourself playing Rookie Rush more often than not, I would start taking Omnimons and turning them into Alter S's. I would not keep them as Omnimons. Because if you keep them as Omnimon, you're going to not have a way to deal with all these rookies, and you're going to lose extremely quickly about it. And I think that's another reason why we want to play Memory Starve in this kind of deck instead of playing stuff with a bunch of inheritable skills, because we want to be able to deal with Rookie Rush and be able to get to our Omnimons in time. Because if we're not getting there, we're not winning. But yeah, Alter S and Omnimon, two really good cards, highly, highly needed for this deck. Otherwise, it does not work. I do want to say that out loud too. And finally, our last four, we have a four of Terra Force, or Gaia Force in English. 8 to play normally. The security skill, activate the main effect. The main effect is destroy one of your opponent's Digimon. Flat out, just get rid of it. This reminds me of Terror Pit from the Duel Masters, which is pretty cool. Kind of weird they got it on a red card, but it is what it is. But yeah, guys, that is Omnimon for set 1.5. Like I said, this deck is really fun to play compared to the other one. I was not super on board with the other one because like you had to play extra cards in the deck to make it run and function properly, or you had to turn it into a red Rookie Rush build. I didn't like it. It wasn't my cup of tea. However, this deck is so much more consistent. It does so much more for you. So yeah, overall is a really great deck. I enjoy playing it. So yeah. But guys, if you liked the video, leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see next. If you want to see updates on the videos I've already done, if you want to see a certain deck that's coming out in 1.5, let me know so I can get your guys' content out as quickly as possible. But yeah, subscribe too. I know a lot of people aren't subscribed. It helps me get out there better if you guys subscribe to me. And I very much love this community as a whole in the first place, so I don't mind getting to know you guys through subscriptions. But yeah, until next time, peace.